Alrighty guys, apologies in advance, I'm holding my phone in between my legs while I record this. So this is the hydraulic pump for the SMG on the 05 to 2010 M5, M6, M3 SMG transmissions. Just a quick rebuild and disassemble for everyone, that way they can see how to go through and rebuild it. I would say definitely mark it, that way you keep track, but this is the one that I just pulled apart and rebuilt my other one with. So to mark it, pulling it apart, a good reference, leaving this up top, that way it can tilt down, pulling the top off and sliding it over. These seals, as well as the other seal right here and here, are all on a kit from ML Ring. Robert was awesome and helped me out with that. But we got this, and here, this is going, the center spacer plate. It doesn't matter too much which way it's located, but for a good reference, the casting number will be right here, and it's just barely on the top. So taking it off, you'll have these two guide pins, and then if you're worried about the gears, this one up top is longer as it goes all the way through for the electric motor to catch onto. And how I pulled it apart was I just pushed on the back of it and pushed, and it just pops right out. So on this, there are two sides to these. There is a bigger and a smaller. Both the top and the bottom underneath these gears, you can see just a little bit back down there, they're both going to be facing away from the casting numbers. So that's why I mentioned mark, use like a sharp, clean it all off and use a Sharpie to go all the way up and down the side. That way you can keep reference of what goes where. But that's going to come off. This is how I tore it apart, so I know it's correct. Do that, and then to pop both of these gears out, you can definitely take one out, but the other one is still going to be a pain. What I did is I just popped the spacer out, set it over, and then this one came out nice and easy. And then you can see, oops, you can see that this was still facing the same way, the wide end. So once you go through and replace it all, this is how I found is the best way. Leave the gears over here and set your spacer plate down. Put your guide pins in. That way it's all held correctly in place. Yeah, it'll get there eventually. There we go. So it's all in. And then we've got our spacer, or our bushing. Just set it in there. Now that all this is together, nice flush, that's in there. Then we'll take our gears, put these back in. Longer one is just what I found easier to put in first. And then this one, we want to make sure that the splines line up. Sorry for horrible lighting. We would just want to make sure that the splines line up as best as possible, and then just slides right in. Now that we got all that, you can put this back on and make sure that it is all in there, completely flush. If you're not sure, then go ahead and take it back apart and just make sure that each one is flush all the way. And then go ahead and put it back together. What I found through talking to SMG Society, I found them after I found Robert and got the parts from him. The torque spec, these two right here, are going to be to clamp this assembly down. These two are to hold it into the hydraulic distribution block where your accumulator and your electric motor go and all that. These ones are 5 Newton meters. These are 6 Newton meters. So good reference for anyone. That way when you guys go to do it, you're not left in the dark like I am.